This is Robert with Pioneer Smokehouses, and this is a little support video to go along with our indoor smoking. So when you're trying to use a smoker indoors, it just doesn't work. But there is a couple of options. And really quick here, what we're going to do is we're going to show this one in this little video here. So it's just what they call a smoke gun, and it's just basically an electric, almost like a pipe, I guess, with a tube. So we'll fill the chips in here, and then we'll switch the switch on, and it'll go. So first thing is what we're going to do for our example is we're going to use some pork and some spices. And so I don't know if you can see here, but we've got black pepper, garlic, and smoked paprika. Same on the plate here. And then we have some of our homemade smoked salt. So I have a couple of different versions of this, but this one is the kosher. And so the kosher is a little bit better when you want to use a small amount and get a lot of flavor. So I'm just going to mix this into a bowl really quick, and then I'll coat that. So I'll be right back. Okay, so now here we go. Here's our coated pork loin. And so you can see that the coating is not too heavy. It is pork, so if we're going to go heavy on it, usually I just go heavy on garlic. But one of the most important things is that I'm adding smoke flavor to start by putting in the smoked paprika and by putting in the smoked sea salt, or kosher salt, I'm sorry. The next thing we're going to do is we have a clear bowl here, and down here we have a round cake cooling rack, and we just want to elevate a little bit, so we're putting it on a plate. And then we'll just take this whole pork loin and set it right in the middle. We want to make sure that it's not going to touch the sides of the bowl. And then we'll cover it with the bowl. I have the bowl sitting on a cutting board so I can hang it over the edge a little bit. And if you have a nice counter, you could do the same thing with that. I have a big bull nose on my counter. Then I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to take the pipe and stick it in there and kind of try to get it right along the edge, so that way it will get up into the bowl, into the dome. It might not be perfect, but we'll get it going from there. Then we have some finely grated wood chips. If you have heavy wood chips, you could actually grind them in a spice grinder or something. And then I'm using a small measuring scoop. This one just happens to be half a teaspoon. And I'm trying to get a little bit more than half a teaspoon in, but a quarter might be easier to use, and then just go with 3 scoops. I'm trying to get it as full as I can. All right, so now we have a brulee torch here. Now, if you have a regular lighter, that'll work just fine. All I have is matches and a brulee torch. I don't have anything else. I've turned on the on that, and I'm going to adjust my brulee torch down to a lower setting. And once it gets started, I'm just going to let it go. And you should be able to see that, and it is going really good. Now, I do this over on the stove because most people are going to have a hood vent. In my kitchen, I don't have a hood vent, so normally I would do something like this out on the porch. And that is completely full, and you can see smoke come rolling out. And that's about all I want to do. Otherwise, there's a good possibility that I'll set the smoke alarm off, and there'll be way too much smoke in the house. So I'm going to take a break for a second, and I'm going to let this sit. And I'm going to let it sit for up to 5 minutes. So I'm going to pause the camera for a second, and we'll go from there. All right, so after I stopped the camera, I pushed the bowl over sideways to seal it off completely, so that way the smoke didn't leak out. And so you can see that there's still just a little bit of smoke in here. And I'm going to go ahead and open it now, and you'll see the last of it will just come flowing out. And then I'm going to take this and put it in my Ziploc bag for the sous vide. Now, whatever your preparation is, that's fine. Not everybody has a sous vide, and that's fine. Just put it in your oven at whatever temperature you normally cook your pork loin at. I recommend kind of low and slow. So I recommend doing a 225 for a couple of hours, maybe a little bit longer. Depends on the size of your pork loin. Now, when you go to put it in the sous vide, leave it partially open like that, and then you can just set it down in there. And once it's inside the sous vide, then you just clip it like that. So you're leaving it open, and the water will force the air to come out, and the bag will be completely sealed. And if you're having a problem with your stuff floating, a clean river rock will solve that. You just put it right underneath the clip against the bag on the inside. So that's how I'm bringing smoke flavor without a smoker to my dish tonight. And then on the next one, we'll be doing a whole video for salsa and the indoor smoke pan. So if you like anything that you've seen in this video, check the links in the description, and those are affiliate links, so if you use them, I will get compensated. Thank you.